what's up? Welcome to my Deadpool and Wolverine review. Today we're doing something a bit different. I figured I wanna review this movie for you guys, but I didn't really know how to do it, so I was like, hey, let's just eat something and let's just talk. The two of us, let's just talk while we eat. I got a KFC thing. It was for $8, which is in USD, like US dollars, that's around $6. It was a pretty banger deal because they're doing Christmas in July and this was a special deal. So what you get, right? You get 2 wings. I know American KFCs don't really have wings, I think. But we have something called Wicked Wings in Australia. A regular chips, just keep in mind, this is all for just $8, $6 USD. And we got a Zinger burger, which I know Americans call it a sandwich because it's not like a beef patty. Shut the fuck up, I don't care. And we got a chocolate mousse, and we got a can. We got Sunkist. Yes, Sunkist, which is basically a Fanta. I don't know if you guys have that either in America. I'm very aware of my American audience, you know what I mean? Please thank me. Alright, so how are we doing this? I think I'm gonna stick with one wet hand. Calling it a wet hand doesn't sound very nice, but I don't want to get, in case I need to touch anything with the cameras or anything, I want to keep this hand dry, so that's what we're doing. We got a couple wet wipes because definitely need those. Oh my god. I had a light breakfast because I knew I was going to be doing this, so oh, that tastes so good. Everyone glazes McDonald's fries. Dude, KFC fries, at least in Australia, when they get the salt right, so good. So, Deadpool and Wolverine, I saw it last night with my family. Very weird movie to watch with your family, but thank god there wasn't any like weird sex scenes or anything. We watched it in Screen X, which I don't know if it's called something else in the other country, but it's like when you have 2 screens on the side as well, like in certain scenes, so it's like an extension of the main screen. That was my first time going to something like that. It was pretty cool. I don't know if I'll do that again. I think I prefer 4DX with the glasses and the moving seats and like the water and the winds and shit. Anyways, so Deadpool and Wolverine. We've been waiting for this movie for fucking forever, it seems like. Okay, we'll start with non-spoilers because I'm sure by the time this video comes out, opening weekend would have passed and I'm sure a lot of you guys have already seen it, but just in case, we are gonna do non-spoilers first. I have a whole list of things I want to talk about, so let's dive in. So for non-spoilers, I think I'm just gonna eat this burger! Dude, I'm so hungry. This does not look very appetizing, but pretty small. Is that in focus? I can't tell. There's the KFC burger, not a sandwich, it's a burger. I don't give a fuck. So first things first, let me just address that I don't really look at reviews before I watch a movie and I don't really recommend doing that to anyone else. I would recommend just click away if you haven't seen the movie, but if you want to hear what I think before watching the movie or you just don't care, whatever, keep watching. So what is this movie? It's like Deadpool runs into some multiverse time travel shenanigans and he has to team up with Wolverine to save his universe. So I think you kind of get that from the trailer. The story overall, it's kind of like it didn't really do much for me. It didn't have the emotional weight of some other movies like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 for example, or just any other good action movie. Because I feel like in an action movie, especially a Marvel movie, you have to have the character, emotion, and stories to just drive everything else. So for example, Winter Soldier, you have the relationship between Steve and Bucky, and that kind of drives the whole thing. Yes, it has great action, but it wouldn't be jack shit without it. So I feel like this movie kind of has that missing. Or it does, but it just doesn't do it well enough. And also, the villains in this movie, like the main villains, we have Cassandra Nova, and we have TVA guy called Paradox. They're nothing. They're very forgettable, to be honest. Maybe Cassandra Nova's powers are pretty cool, but other than that, it's pretty, it's whatever. That was so... I'll get more into that into spoilers section, but they don't even like crack probably the top 10 in villains of the MCU. KFC loves their mayo, Jesus Christ. I should have changed the sauce. Oh wait, but I know Americans love mayo. They put mayo on everything. I don't know why. There's so many other better sauce. Whatever. Okay, so the CGI. CGI's obviously been a major problem in the MCU movies, especially as of late. In this movie, sometimes it's good, other times it's laughably bad. Like, it took me out of the movie, which is not a great thing at all. Again, I'll talk about specific parts in spoilers, but the CGI definitely needed some work. Maybe they just didn't have enough time to finish it. That's often how it goes, or they were just indecisive about how they wanted the CGI or the action scene to play out. You think they would have learned by now, but Apparently not. It's kind of frustrating to be honest, but yeah, because I feel like movies like this, they rely on so much CGI, and if you can't get that right, come on, like what are you doing? So the visuals, they're nowhere near something like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 or The Batman, because I know some people in my other video, they were like, oh, well people who saw the movie in the theaters, they said that it was color graded way better than the actual trailers. It wasn't. It's the same. Like it's very ugly looking sometimes. It's a shame, but I guess a lot of people aren't really in there for like the visual spectacle. They're just in there for like the ride. But I don't really put my foot off that pedal when I watch these movies. So also, this is kind of relevant in terms of visuals. Some set pieces looks terrible. I'm sorry. I don't like ragging on production design because I know it's a very difficult job. Some set design, it looked really bad. Like you can tell it's just like a studio set. Like it's meant to be outside. No, you can easily tell it's a single studio set because they keep filming the same area and it just doesn't look real at all. That took me out of it as well. And if you've seen the movie and you don't know which set I'm talking about, good on you, I guess. You're just too attached to the story. But I know a lot of you would have went like, wow, this area looks kind of fake. It looks just kind of odd for some reason. But we'll move on. One thing I'll always appreciate about KFC is that they use real chicken. They don't use that blended up mushy shit like McDonald's does for their McChickens or whatever. This is like the real shit. Anyways, okay, so let's talk about the cameos, but not anything in particular. So the cameos were fun. In general, they were pretty cool to see. I enjoyed them. They were really cool. Some of them were like, whoa, can't believe they got that person in. But I have to say, I don't know, man. Like they didn't really contribute much to the overall body of the film. Like for example, right, if we take No Way Home and the way they used the villains, it was pretty integral to showing who Peter was and the decision making that comes within the responsibilities of Spider-Man. So for example, Peter, he decides that these villains shouldn't get sent back home if he knows that they're gonna die. So he tries his best to save them. And it was obviously a very annoying point in the movie as audiences like, just send them the fuck back. Dude, they're gonna kill so many people. But in the end, of course, we as the audience are proven wrong. His plan works, they're all treated and sent back and whatever. But in this movie, I feel like the cameos don't really have any part in this movie and how the story develops. I mean, they're really fun to see. They're part of the action, I guess, but it would have been cool to have some anchorage in the story. I don't know if that's a word, but you get what I mean. I just want them to play a part in keeping the movie moving forward. There you go. Some of them were really funny. We'll get back into that in spoilers, but yeah, especially if you've seen all the Fox movies or any of the other Marvel, non-MCU Marvel movies, they're pretty fun. They're pretty fun, I won't lie. Great chips, or fries if you're from America. But we call them chips here. Let's talk about the action in this movie. It's pretty standard Marvel action. It's like half CGI or whatever. Sometimes the CGI will be bad and it'll kind of just ruin it, I guess. But for the most part, the action was pretty good. I would say so. It's not any Winter Soldier or anything, but especially when Deadpool and Wolverine are fighting, those scenes are pretty sick. Oh, actually some superpowers, Cassandra Nova's powers, how they're portrayed, that's pretty cool as well. But the action scenes in general, they're not that memorable, especially compared to the past two Deadpool movies, which really did have great memorable action. It wasn't anything like boom, bap, pow. It was just how they execute the action in the first two Deadpool movies that really made it stand out. So it is kind of hard to compete, but at the same time, it's the same movie trilogy. Come on guys, step your game up, make it a bit more memorable. But the opening credits were pretty good, but again, it doesn't really hold up to the first Deadpool movie. I don't really remember what the opening credits for the second movie was. This movie's opening credits are pretty good. Oh gosh, excuse me. Wolverine's costume, let's talk about that. Finally, we get to see Wolverine in his yellow and blue costume. And it looks pretty good. I mean, we all knew that from the photos, but yeah, in action, I love seeing it. I don't think this is a spoiler, but when he wears the mask, it's half the time it's good, half the time it looks really weird. Like Spider-Man's mask in No Way Home, not Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, their Spider-Man's mask, they're all CGI, I'm pretty sure. So it kind of just looked really weird. Same with this movie, like I'm pretty sure that mask is CGI. And in some scenes it just looks really weird and odd and just doesn't look real, but in other shots it looks really cool and I'm like, fuck yes, we finally got it. I'm happy we finally got that. So in terms of the story and overall, not as good as the other two Deadpool movies. I feel like this just tried to go way too big. Yeah, it didn't really hit as much, like it wasn't as concentrated, I guess, as the last two. The writing definitely could have been improved, especially with the story and how they executed everyone's story arcs. But it was a fun ride. Man, I feel like when you're hungry, everything just tastes good. So I gave this movie a 3.5 stars on my letterbox. So that's what I'm rating this movie. So if you're a fan of the MCU and the X-Men movies, definitely go see this, but I wouldn't really consider it essential, to be honest. Like, I'm gonna be honest. It's not something where I'm like, oh my god, you have to see this. Because when Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 came out, I recommended it to everyone. I was like, hey, remember the first two Guardians of the Galaxy movies? This is the shit, man. You don't have to watch anything else. This is just a really good movie. Like a really good sci-fi, family-oriented movie. And unfortunately, I can't say the same thing about this. Not because of the family-oriented stuff, but just like, it just wasn't, didn't hit. It just didn't land in some points, and you know, I still had a fun time, so there you go. Now we're gonna go into spoilers after I finish this. Sunkissed no sugar. Oh yeah. Give me that, babes. Ooh. Wait. Cheers. If you're in spoilers and you've seen the movie, cheers for Deadpool and Wolverine coming out. Thank fuck, it finally came out. Woo! Let's get these wings up in here, boy! Damn, these are crispy as hell! Yo, this KFC that I usually go to, there's two KFCs near me. The one I went to just then is like the closer one, but they're usually so dog shit, but I just couldn't be bothered driving a bit more, so these actually look really crispy for them. Jesus Christ, they always usually fumble. Like, all the coating's usually just sliding off with grease. Look at that fried wing. I don't know if it's in focus. Fuck! I just dropped some crumbs. You guys like drums or flats? I know that's a big debate, especially in America. We're not that obsessed with chicken wings here, but I know in America, that's a pretty big debate. I don't mind either. They both taste good. Flats are a bit harder to eat, right? Alright, anyways, let's get into, spoilers. Let's just churn through all the Easter eggs and cameos. Okay, so first of all, we have, it opens with Logan's corpse being desecrated, which I know a lot of people might be upset with that, but I found it funny because they kind of just like took it right out of the gate because people were so concerned about how is it going to ruin Logan's legacy. It was kind of funny, yeah. Especially it was like years after like the events of the movie happened, so it doesn't really impact what happened in that movie. It would have been way worse if he just jumped in like the middle of the Logan movie and took him out or something, or changed how something happens. That would have been kind of weird and ugh. But thank God that didn't happen. Okay, this is something I found confusing, which might have been like part of like a rewrite or something, but they didn't really address how he just flip-flops from the main MCU to the Fox universe. Like, am I the only one who was kind of confused by that? They say Earth 616, which by the way, I'm still really annoyed about, because 616 is the comics. Don't be calling the movie universe the 616, that just doesn't make any sense. It just says Earth 616, and he's talking to Happy, and then next scene, he's just back in his own universe. It doesn't really say how or why he got there, and they don't address how everyone knows the Avengers all of a sudden, especially in his universe or the other universes. Like, what the fuck? That confused me. Hopefully I missed something and someone can explain it in the comments. But yeah, that was weird. Alright, let's get this wing now. You know that trick about how to like eat the wing like really quickly? I can't really do that because I'm only using one hand. Ah, fuck it. Those have a bit of heat to them, I'm not gonna lie. That surprised me. Okay, let's talk about the alternate Wolverines that happened in that little montage. That was pretty funny, especially for people who understood every reference. The only one I didn't understand was when he's crucified on that X with all the skulls around. It's probably from a comic or something. So that's the only one I didn't get. The Age of Apocalypse costume, I think that's what it's called. That looked pretty cool. The short Wolverine took everyone in my theater by surprise. It got a big laugh when he just hopped off the stool and he was like comic accurate, like what, like 5'3" or something. But you know what was the best costume? The brown costume. Holy shit, that looks so... For the 2 seconds we saw it, it looked amazing, and they finally got him in with the Hulk. I'm glad we got that. It was better than nothing. I'm glad they gave him the really thick claws to recreate that McFarlane cover, that iconic one. Man, what a great costume. I wish we got some more of that, but we just have to trust the MCU's X-Men to bring something cool like that in. Okay, Henry Cavill's Wolverine. That was so random, right? I get it because he was like people kind of wanted him as Wolverine around like a year ago. Yeah, I get why they did it. It's like the John Krasinski Mr. Fantastic, but it's kind of weird, right? In my opinion, he did not look good as Wolverine. I don't know if they're trying to test the waters, whether audiences respond positively to that, but in my opinion, he looked way too weird. Like, he did not give Wolverine vibes. Also, I want Wolverine to be short next time. I don't want Henry Cavill as Wolverine. But it was still really random, and I feel like regular audiences wouldn't really have understood like why he was there. It would have just seemed really random, like because they wouldn't know about like the fan casting and all that. Finish this wing. What else do we have? Okay. The Human Torch. That was funny, right? That was pretty fucking funny. Honestly, when I first saw Chris Evans, my first thought was, oh, it's the Human Torch. Like, they brought him back. I didn't realize the joke was meant to be that you're meant to think that it's Captain America. And I got it when Deadpool was like, Avengers Assemble, but Human Torch was like, Flame on! And I was like, oh, right. Like, that joke completely went over my head because I just assumed from the get-go that he was the Human Torch. But Chris Evans was fucking great. I love seeing him in these more comedic roles where he just like say whatever the fuck he wants to say. Well, it gives that vibe, and wow, he nailed it. I'm glad they brought him back. He did get bitched by Pyro though. I know some people might get mad on that. The 3 Fantastic Four fans in the world, they might get mad at that. So watch out. Also, speaking of Johnny Storm, like the end credit scene at the very end, that was pretty fucking funny as well. Like, I did not expect that. And just seeing Chris Evans just deliver that, fucking beautiful. Great job, great job. I love that, I love that. Seeing other mutants like Juggernaut, Pyro, Lady Deathstrike, Toad, that was pretty cool. Especially if you've seen all the X-Men movies. That was very appreciated. But I will say the thing with Pyro, about him being a spy or whatever, that was so random, right? I feel like that was written in as something originally, but they kind of changed the story, the editing process or reshoots or something, and his role just kind of got like diminished a bit. Like, am I wrong? Like, why was that even a plot line? I don't know, it just felt so weird. But yes, it was especially lovely to see Vinnie Jones Juggernaut back again in that muscle suit. Obviously, the main cameos that people would be talking about are Blade, Elektra, and Gambit. Obviously very cool to see. I love how they poke fourth wall jokes at all of them, especially Wesley Wesley. Well, I'm blanking. Wesley Snipes, I think. Why am I blanking on his name? Anyways, they poke fun at him by saying, oh, I thought you were retired. Retired? Yeah, let's just go with the word retire right now. Because obviously, if you don't know the amount of drama that happened with him on Blade Trinity, I think, and the kind of shit he says now, and I'm surprised he even got onto this movie. I'm surprised Marvel didn't go like, fuck that. You know how much shit he's talked about us? But he made it in somehow. Must have gotten a big fucking check. Jennifer Garner's Elektra. Oh my gosh, she's still so beautiful. Am I crazy? They're like, oh, where's Daredevil? He's dead. And she's like, good. Because if you don't know, Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner, they met on Daredevil, married and divorced. But I'm pretty sure they're still friends in real life. I don't give a shit about celebrity paparazzi drama bullshit, but that's just what I see online. And of course, we finally get Channing Tatum's Gambit. Holy shit, it's been like 10 years since like they kind of confirmed that in that big photo with the Fox and X-Men cast. Comic accurate suit, he was great. I love Channing Tatum in comedic roles. I feel like that's where he shines the most. Yeah, it was so funny, right? Like, especially when they're poking fun at his accent. I understood most of it, but every time I'd be like, wait, what did he say? Deadpool would be like, what the fuck did he just say? That was funny, that was funny. Also, all their powers look really cool. Really well done. I don't know, like I said before, I wish they had more of a role in the movie and pushing the story forward a bit, but you know, what can you do, I guess. It was fun. See that drumstick? Okay, also, I just want to bring up the amount of jokes they throw at Gambit about it being planned and it never happened, or, oh wow, Gambit finally showed up after all these years of planning. That was such like a niche joke for like people who understood like the amount of development hell that Gambit has gone through to put Channing Tatum in a movie. That was pretty funny. That got me a good couple chuckles. But it was kind of weird to me that they were so okay with just being left behind in the void. Like they saw Wolverine and Deadpool go through the port and they were like, nice. We'll just be left here to die. But I guess the main purpose was like, yes, we're finally gonna rebel against Cassandra Nova. Like that was their story arc, so it was whatever. That's like a very whatever complaint. Let's talk about the story. We have to talk about it. The main issue I had with this movie was the unsatisfying character arcs, and this is getting a bit nerdy in writing. Essentially, you want to throw the ball and say, hey, this guy needs this, and then at the end, they catch it, but they're a different person. That's basically it. But none of that really happens. Well, it does happen, but not in the way that you wish it did, or it could have been way better. Following that metaphor, the ball was just thrown like 2 centimeters in the air. Like, I feel like he could have just made the journey a bit better. So let's go into specifics. Deadpool wants to save the world. Why? Because we have a flashback of Vanessa going like, oh, like you didn't have a purpose besides serving yourself. That's the tiny bit of motivation and backstory we get for Deadpool in this entire movie. That's the one reason why he's doing all of this. Just that one flashback. Like, obviously he's saving his family and friends and whatever. Like, his inner drive, his need in the story, it's kind of weak. Cause that's all we get, just the one flashback. That's all we have to feed off on the whole movie. Like you don't want to like stimulate something else. I don't know, man. This is just my thoughts. I'm not saying that I have a better idea or whatever the fuck. I don't want people to be like, how about you try writing a $300 million movie, huh? That's not what I'm saying. Also, okay, before we get into this, I'm gonna finish this wing. Okay, let's talk about Logan's backstory. We don't really get a flashback or visual of any of it, but man, how underwhelming was that? Because if you know Old Man Logan, the story, Wolverine's tricked into killing the entire X-Men by Mysterio. And that sets up this really tragic thing about Wolverine where like he just doesn't want to, you know, be Wolverine because fuck, the amount of guilt you would have from killing your entire team and family, that's crazy. So you would think from the movie, from the way he was acting, like he was fucking downing bottles of Johnny Walker and all that fuck, and he's acting so depressed, you'll think that he did something so terrible. But no, his mistake was that he went to the bar when a bunch of humans came into the X-Mansion or something and killed the X-Men. And then he came back and killed all the humans, I think. That is like a weak hinge to put all your guilt off for a character. I don't know, maybe I set myself up for failure for this because I was imagining, oh, his backstory is probably like, he was also tricked into like killing his X-Men. Like that would have been so hardcore and so deep and would have like just went a bit deeper than what we got. Like he went to the bar to get a drink or something, even though people were telling him to stay back and then everyone got killed when he wasn't there. That's the best he could come up with? I don't know, man. That seems kind of weak, doesn't it? Am I alone in that? He went to a bar. That was the backstory though. Because you know in the trailer where he drops to his knees and Hugh Jackman's just like staring off into space looking really depressed. I was thinking like, wow, like what could have possibly happened to this Wolverine? And then we get that. Come on guys, like what are we doing here? What are we doing here, man? God damn. A couple of things with the Wolverine character arc with him, didn't really make sense to me, or just didn't really land right. So in the end of the movie, the TVA woman from Loki, she's like, Wolverine, we can't really change your past, but that's what made you a hero today. And Wolverine's like, sweet. This guy has been ragging on Deadpool the entire movie about like restoring or fixing what happened in his timeline on his Earth, and then now he just accepts it. That is what I would want to happen to Wolverine. Like that is the character arc I envision for him, and probably the ideal character arc. Like the lesson learned is that all this tragedy, like despite all that, he's still a hero and he saves Deadpool's world, whatever, or all the worlds. And yes, that is where you should be landing, but like the way he learned that was just like so non-existent to the audience. Am I wrong? Like we didn't really get that development. We didn't get a moment where he turns his back on the choice to save his own timeline, to save Deadpool's world or whatever the fuck they were saving at the end. Like there wasn't enough of Wolverine deliberating between what it means to be a hero and just accepting the fact that all that tragic stuff happened and here we are with Deadpool, and we're gonna save some lives today because I am a superhero, and that's what heroes do. Also, another issue I kind of had was that with X-23, Laura, I think that's her name, they set up this this mini conflict. She's like kind of attached to him, but he doesn't want anything to do with her, and it's kind of up in the air before they attack Cassandra Nova's base, and they kind of just leave it. They don't really reconnect in like any special moment. Like I think everyone was kind of waiting for that, especially people who've seen Logan. They were kind of waiting for Wolverine to have some sort of reconnection moment with her. I know it's not the same Wolverine, but just to like, acknowledge that, hey, like I'm here for you, blah blah blah. But that never happens. At the end of the movie, you just see them at the dinner table and they're like, oh yeah, he's like a clink. Well, what the fuck happened? It seemed like he fucking hated this girl. That would have been so emotional. There was just so many missing emotional stakes throughout this movie. I don't know what could have been sacrificed. Maybe the jokes, maybe like the cameos or whatever, but it just needed more like, if we're thinking about this as a rock climbing wall, it needed more emotional ones and less of the humor and whatever the fuck. Okay, let's talk about the villains. Come on guys. Terrible. Villains were pretty bad. I'm not talking about the actors. The actors were great, obviously. But how they were written, the story, like what the fuck? Who cares? So we got a bit of Cassandra Nova's backstory and what happened to her, but it just really wasn't anything. Like, she got sent to the void and what? Like, I must have completely missed the reason why she wanted to destroy the universe all of a sudden. Like, that was so random, right? Oh, like, she got betrayed by, Paradox or something. I don't know. But that was super weak. Yeah, I don't know. I was unsatisfied by that. I'm sure a lot of you guys were. I'm sure some of you were happy with that. They were like, whatever, just a villain. I don't care. But I feel like in most of these movies, the villain is what makes the movie. To fumble the villain, you fuck up a lot of things. Cassandra Nova, her powers are cool, but come on. And Paradox, TVA guy, the evil guy, like, his motivations were kind of weak as well, and it was kind of just annoying at some points. Okay, another thing about the story is you know the big fight scene where Wolverine and Deadpool fight the army of Deadpools? Why did that happen? Did they just skip over that part? Like, why they suddenly had to fight each other? Maybe I genuinely did miss that part, but that seems so random to me. Why? Like, they should be friends, right? Like, why are they suddenly just fighting? That didn't make any fucking sense to me. And speaking of that fight scene, it was cool for the most part. Some, like, CGI was pretty and when they jump out of the bus, like the back of the bus through the glass, that CGI was so bad. Oh my goodness, they look like Play-Doh ragdolls. And the rest of the shot was CGI. Deadpool and Wolverine, they were CGI, they were moving around while talking. I was like, this is so weird. Please stop. And speaking of CGI in that fight scene, Headpool, the flying Deadpool head. Oh my god. Dude, that CGI was laughably bad. Like, that was embarrassing. I'm sorry. Like, I thought it was gonna be the Deadpool head from X-Men Origins Wolverine, like how it got cut off. I thought it was gonna be that, but no, it was just some 90s looking, like the Jim Carrey's The Mask looking ass head flying around with like big ass like cartoony white eyeballs. Like, this looks terrible. Oh my god, what happened? Okay, let's open this chocolate mousse. This is 1,490 kilojoules. Jesus Christ. I don't know what that is in calories. That's like 350. But what the fuck even is a mousse? You see that mousse? That's a mousse. That's a moose. That's a moose, baby. That's ew, what the fuck? Cheers to a fresh new MCU movie. The only MCU movie to come out today. I mean, this year. Yum. Just tastes like chocolate. Chocolate and sugar. Okay, let's talk about the humor. Most of the time the humor landed, but in my opinion, there were way too many references to the Fox Disney thing. I feel like most general audiences, they don't give a shit about that. They don't really know about what happened. They don't really care about what happened. But they do so many fourth wall jokes. It was kind of getting crazy and like a bit tiring and a bit exhausting. You know, that's Deadpool, I guess. I know some people are going, well, Deadpool will do that all the time. Well, I don't give a fuck about you and your Deadpool imagination, okay? One of the jokes that I couldn't really just stand by the end of the movie was how everyone loves Peter. I feel like Deadpool 2 had the right amount of Peter. Like, he was in there, it was funny because he didn't have any powers, just a regular guy, and he was out. Like, that's pretty fucking funny. But this movie, they just fucking bash your head with Peter and they're like, yeah, look at how everyone loves Peter and like all the Deadpools love him and blah 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 blah. Shut the fuck up. I don't give a shit anymore. Like, why do you have to stuff him in our face that much and just overkill the joke? I might be being a bit too harsh on it, but that kind of like drove me insane a bit. I was like, don't ruin the Peter thing from Deadpool 2, you know what I mean? I'm losing my mind. Okay, so what I was talking about earlier, how like some sets look really fake. In case you didn't know what I was talking about, it was a New York set. It didn't even look like New York, it just looked like a plastic like foam town. I'm talking about like the town where they had the army of Deadpools versus Wolverine and Deadpool. Like that set, it looked like a set. It did not feel real. Like if you told me, oh no, I thought that was actually New York. Come on. Bull fucking shit you did. Like, and the fact that they just kept filming like the same spots, like the same intersection in the street, it was a dead giveaway and it just didn't feel real. It's just like a common problem in Marvel movies. Like they just rely on CGI to just fill in the background, but sometimes you can just tell. Like it just doesn't look like New York, or just doesn't look like a forest or whatever the fuck. I think that's all I have to say about the movie in general. I know that was mostly negative, but I did have a fun time, hence why I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. Let me specify that, out of 5, not out of 10. I feel like all like the things they could have improved just comes up to my head immediately. So the credits were really cool. That was the most emotional part of the movie. They really didn't have any like emotional points in the movie where you just get stuck in the heart with a knife and they just twist it. Like Guardians of the Galaxy did Volume 3 did a really good job at that. And I feel like that's like the kind of feelings you remember, but this movie didn't have any of that. I feel like when Cassandra Nova's in Wolverine's head, first of all, In that scene, Hugh Jackman was acting his fucking ass off. Holy shit. But that was the moment where you could have just done something like, I don't know, make something emotional, like drive something in for us to feel. And the credits is what did that. Just seeing all the Fox movies and all like the pre-MCU movies, that was like, I have no words because I kind of grew up with those movies and it was really cute. This was a movie for the fans. It's not really like Deadpool 1 and 2 where you can just go into it blind. This movie really was for the fans and I really do hate saying that. But to be honest, my rating of how much I enjoyed it versus how good of a movie this is, they're completely different. This chocolate mousse, tastes like diabetes, bro. I'm also eating pizza tonight. Yikes. I think I'm gonna die tomorrow. I don't think this video is even gonna be uploaded because I'll just be fucking just laying in my bed with my heart just fucking burst open. I think that's pretty much it. I'm gonna finish these chips and this mousse. Don't worry, I'm not gonna waste it. I guess let me know what you thought about the movie. I'm sure everyone is gonna have different opinions. I ask everyone to respect each other's opinions. If you're gonna rag on someone, please rag on me. Tell me why I'm wrong. Tell me like at what specific points I missed something that could explain whatever. And for everyone else, feel free to comment on their comments and say, actually, Andy's right and you're wrong and blah blah blah. Come on, let's talk about the movie because I've never actually done this kind of video before where people can just talk about the movie. So, you know, fun. And by the time this movie comes out, it would have been like 5 days since the movie came out. So that should be enough time for a lot of people to see it, right? If you want more like laid back videos like this, check out my second channel for random vlogs. Check out my Instagram, check out my letterbox, I guess. That's pretty much it. I'll see you next week. See ya.
10:15 in the open night, I can't help that I feel so lonely. How many times do I have to die?